We're back with Book 3, Season 3, Episode 5, Raising Kanan, My Brother's Keeper. Let's get it. All right, so the scene starts off with Ronnie. We know Ronnie's out of control. The title of this episode is My Brother's Keeper, thus the choice of the backdrop for this week. And it gets crazy. So it starts off, he's still out of control. There's a young man walking to his vehicle, getting ready to get in and go on about his day. Here comes Ronnie. You hear a voice, nice ride. And then he puts the gun up to him and says it again, nice ride. Dude knew what time it was. He just gave up the keys. So Ronnie gets in the guy's vehicle and speeds off. And he's driving crazy. And it's kind of like what Neek ends up telling him here in a bit. But I'm thinking to myself, bro, why are you want to go back to jail? Why are you so loosely driving? Like, you would think if a person stole a vehicle and they're a convict, and which means you can go to jail, you're out on parole, you can go back, any little thing you do, why would you be driving around? Like, you just got away from stealing this car, got away with it. And you driving through town like a bat out of hell, as my mom used to say. Then he gets to Neek and Nessa's house. Strange thing, he's standing outside, because I thought he lived there. So if you live there, why are you having to ring the doorbell? But anyway, I guess whatever. He's outside and he's constantly, nonstop, ringing the doorbell. Now, as he's doing this, it's dark outside, but I didn't really realize, you could tell like there was no movement outside whatsoever. So I felt like people were in the bed. Yeah, sure enough. Neek comes to that door and he goes off like, bro, it's in the middle of the night. Why are you ringing the door? He didn't ding, 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 until he came, right? So he says, it's new. So he wanted to show him the car. He was excited about getting the car. He wanted to show his brother the car. So he wants Neek to see this car that he's gotten. And he said he's going to take it and sell it, I guess, so he can make him some money. Because we all know he's been trying to make moves and get him some money because he wants to get back into the game. And for him, Neek is just moving a little too slow for him. He needs things popping. So Neek told him, he's like, you got blessed, basically, and you got lucky enough to get out. Why would you risk that by jacking rides? And he said, I told you I was going to take care of you. Didn't I tell you I was going to take care of you? And he was like, he pretty much let him know you're not moving fast enough. I believe and want to see it, basically. As he walk off, Neek is just standing on the porch in disbelief because it's like, really? Like, he just, I don't know. So then Ronnie and Neek goes to the Chinese store because this bothers Neek. Like, okay, because he loves his brother. And he gets to thinking, like, if he's going to go through links to do this, what else will he do if things aren't working out for him? So he goes ahead and tells him about the Chinese restaurant and just take him over to let him see the setup. And he says, hey, this is going to be for you. I want you to run this. He looking around. He's like, there's no motion here. There's nothing going on. Because Neek was telling him even like the cops are onto this place at all. It's going to be nice and easy for you. He said, it ain't on because this place ain't popping. He don't want it. He feels insulted. He's like, I want to know about your real motion, what you got going on. And Neek was like, there is nothing else. He don't believe him. And he even goes so far as to tell him, you're soft, you've changed because you got your face between Rock's legs, basically. He don't want to let it go that he really, really feels that Rock is the reason Neek isn't sharing everything with him. So he feels threatened by Rock. Next, we see Ronnie pull up on Juliana. Because remember, I told you, she looked like she might be interested, but her cousin pretty much at the end of the day got to say so. He pulls up on Juliana and he says that to her. He said, "You look like you had more to say the other day." But she stood firm. I was surprised. She stood firm and she told him that she's not doing any business with him, that because of Neek. Neek and I have history, not doing business with Neek's brother. So he's trying to convince her that you would be doing business with me. I'm going to be solo. I want to do business with you. She's like, nope, not going to do it. So she pretty much lets him know. She says, because he was like, he's my brother. He's not going anywhere, right? And she basically let him know. She said, listen, my husband was my husband until he wasn't. Yeah, thanks to Rock. But anyway. And he was like, well, Neek's not going anywhere. And she was like, you could have a say-so. Like, she was insinuating, like, for him to take Neek out. And he stood firm and let her know that nothing was going to happen to his brother. Again, he loved his brother. Next, we see Nessa coming home. And Ronnie's in there. He's messing around. For some reason, he's obsessed with this fish tank. And he's messing around with that. And she runs in, and I guess she was disgusted at his sight. That's where it seemed that she's at with him right now. She's just disgusted. So, because as soon as she got in the house, she saw him, and she's like, where's Neek? Where's Neek? And he proceeds to tell her that Neek is somewhere effing Rock. Like, he just came out and told the lady that her husband is, and who the lady is that he's sleeping with. And I'm like, oh my God, like, bro, number one, you snitched out. Number two, you even told him who the lady was. Like, he out of pocket. He way out of pocket, right? I think his approach to me is he's trying to operate in tough love with his little brother. He feels like if he rocks his world, no pun intended, that he'll come around and do things the way he's used to them being done. Like trying to peck him down or two. I don't know, but he told the lady. So next we see Nessa and Neek sitting at the table together having a powwow. And she just comes out and asks him, well, most women, how we are. We're not going to hold that. Are you sleeping with Rock? And he never denied it. He didn't tell her no. He didn't tell her yes. He didn't deny it. He just told her, like, why are you worried? Don't you and Rome have everything you need? Like everything y'all need, you have it. You're spoiled. I don't know what make him think that makes a difference. You got everything you don't want for nothing. Why you worrying about another bitch, right? And she basically said, Rock ain't another bitch. Which in reality, we all know she's not. She's not just another bitch. But I have to say I agree with this young lady in what she said. Because, bro, you're sleeping with the woman that tried to kill you with our son in the vehicle. You're sleeping with the woman that set you up to go to prison. Like, how stupid can you? Because I was on her side with that. She's absolutely right. Like, wow. Are you stupid, slow, or dumb? Like, what is going on? So, so of course they argue back and forth. He's yelling at her and screaming, and he stormed, of course, in man fashion, he storms out of the house. She tries to throw a glass and hit him with it. Of course it hit the door, but he got up out of there because he knew it was about to get ugly. So we're back at Rock's house, and Rock walks into Kanan's room. He's on the phone, and he's got the maps out, spread out on his bed. He's giving orders to Famous, and he's telling him don't muck it up, and you need to do, just how he talked to Famous, low-key out of pocket, the way he talked to Famous. And he's going through, and then they get off the phone. So when he gets off the phone, Rock's like, what's Famous done messed up now? And he just gives his mama the silent treatment. I've been wanting to take off my belt and whip his butt, but he gives his mama the silent treatment. And he don't, he don't answer her. He don't tell her nothing. And she's like, well, what's that? She's looking at the maps on the bed. What is all that? Nothing. He gives her, he pays her nothing, no mind. And he won't give her an answer. He don't tell her anything. And she's like, well, I want this to work for us. I think this is gonna be good for us. Again, showing that going straight tip. Kanan's not trying to hear it. Next, we see back at the bando, Famous is outside and he's passing out the packs because, now Kanan's not there early in the morning. He's over with his mom. So Famous is out there taking care of it. He's passing out the packs, with the guys, getting them on their way. And lo and behold, while he's out there doing this, the cops pull up and they get him. They hem him up. They catch him with the bag of money. They take him in. So now Famous is picked up, taken to the jailhouse. So then Kanan gets to the bando. And as soon as he gets there, he's outside and he see the guys out there. And he's like, where's Famous? And they're like, oh, you didn't hear? Famous got roped up. And oh my God, you can see the look on his face. He is mad. He's mad that Famous done got caught up. So, he goes on into the bando, I guess, to, do what he need to do. Because he got to take care of everything because Famous isn't there. So back at the precinct where Famous is, they're questioning him about Freddie's death. Somehow they got some type of intel that he was in the area when Freddie died. But, I was actually kind of proud of old Famous. He kept it, tight lip. He didn't tell him nothing. He didn't fall for no bananas in the tailpipe. And, he got up out of there with the questioning. Physically, he held it together. But, mentally, we saw mentally it did affect him. And he got thinking about some things. But the questioning part at that time, I don't know if this is the end of it. If it's going to go away. If his answer sufficed, not sure. But he handled it pretty well while he was there. Then we see Kanan back at the bando. Like I said, he was going to have to take care of everything while Famous was hemmed up. And he's out there passing out packs, talking to the guys. Again, guys griping and complaining. And he's reassuring them and everything like that. And after he gets done passing it out, apparently Mr. Creepy had been somewhere watching. And when he turned around, he was right there. He's right there up on him, blocking the stairway for him to get up. And he was like, who you working for? Kanan, he like, I don't work for nobody. I work for me. Who's supplying you? Is Neek supplying you? You getting your product from Neek? That's where you getting your packages from? He's like, Neek? No, I'm not getting my stuff from Neek. So he tried to go up the steps. But, Big Swole standing there, big creepy Swole was standing there. He couldn't get by. And he, kind of like bounced back, And so, he was like, well, you got to be getting your heroin from somewhere. Who you getting your heroin from? And Kay was like, who said anything about heroin? And then at that moment, Big Swole kind of loosened up and Kay went on by this day. But this dude really out there trying to, he really, really think that his brother's holding out on him. But I don't know. I think what it is that Neek is just being careful with him because he don't want to put him in everything, right? He don't want to let him know everything right now because he know it's not the same brother that went away. He knows that. He already picked up on that. And so he's just taking his time with him. But this is frustrating Ronnie. And Ronnie's trying to get to the bottom of it by any means necessary. So now we have Kay and Famous in the bando. Famous comes in. Kay was in there, on the phone, making plays or whatever. And Famous comes in. And Famous is feeling some type of way. Because remember, episode ago, Kay went down to the precinct and got the other little dude out that was on a scooter, got his uncle to get him out. So it's about to be some trouble in paradise with these two. And he also was like, he felt some type of way because he was like, well, where's the money? So now Kanan's mad because he told him, hey, they gonna keep that. They let me out, but they gonna keep that money. Oh, now Kanan's furious. He's like, in other words, he made like a little gesture, like I knew I couldn't trust you or something like that. I knew you weren't gonna be able to handle it, something like that. He said. So he was like, and then he told him, he said, man, I was in there and they was questioning me about Freddie. He said, because I'm the one that killed Freddie. And the way Kanan looked at him, and he basically told him, like, you shouldn't have told me that. Don't tell nobody that. You take that to your grave. And he's like, it bothers me. Like, what do? I killed a person. So he's basically told him, like, you take that to your grave and you don't speak of it. It just shows you that young Kanan is turning into big Kanan. Really, really is. Right before our eyes. So Marvin and Gerald are having breakfast together. They got their little bromance thing or support system thing going on that they're trying to keep in touch with each other and encourage each other. And I can even tell at one point Marvin almost said a cuss word while they was having breakfast, and he corrected himself. So it's helping Marvin as well to keep his temperament under control and everything like that. So they talk about how they both have daughters. They have that in common. They're trying to raise their daughters. And Marvin even suggests that he do a piece because, Gerald is a writer, that he do a piece on his daughter, Juke, her making the group, her out singing, all those other girls and getting a spot in the group. Then Gerald ended up pissing Marvin off because he said, oh, that would be a good story because, coming from the wrong side of the tracks, blah, blah. And he's like, who came from the wrong side? We didn't come from no wrong side of the tracks. I ain't never lived by no tracks. He said, well, with all the drugs and stuff that's in that area, and then it was a murder last night over there in that area on the south side, and because Marvin didn't know about Dean yet. And he ended up telling him about Dean and what happened. And he hurried up and after he, got a couple more details, he hurried up and excused himself from breakfast. Now, this seemed to really upset Gerald because he slammed his napkin down and everything. And I'm going to tell you what I think. I think that Gerald is a CI. I really think he's a CI. And I think he started asking those questions, and he probably even initially contacted Marvin to start setting Marvin up. I just think it's not a coincidence that this happened right when the feds started doing all their stuff. I don't know. I don't know. It just something about this, the way he acted when Marvin had to leave, he seemed really, really mad about that. Like, dang, I messed up. Or maybe it's a friendship and he just like, oh, I must have hurt him by saying that. I don't know, but I'm sure there's more to come. We'll find out. But that's what came to me like, dang, is he a CI or something? Because first when he was asking all those questions, I was like, But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So then we see Rock is cleaning up the glass because the police done got her. They done got her. So she's cleaning up the glass and everything. As soon as she showed up and saw the window busted, while she's standing there, I'm sure going through her mind, I'd be damn. The cops pull up just ever so timely. And, offer their services once again that they can protect her. And well, then, she declined it. And they're like, well, keep your window guy on speed dial. They messing with her big time. Marvin comes up and he ends up helping her clean up the mess. And she tells him about the cops and everything like that. He tells her about the club venture that he and Lou have gotten into, and he loaned Lou some money. And she was like, there's no such thing as loaning Lou money because you ain't gonna never get it back, basically. And they just, all the way around, they just out of pocket with each other. They just, go, especially Lou and Rock. Because I feel like this is a lifestyle y'all grew up in, y'all been doing all this time. And for Lou to be so mad at her now about it, it just, to me, it's a little petty. But I'm gonna keep, watching and see how the storyline goes. But it just I don't know. I just want them to hurry up and work it out. But and I feel sorry for Marvin because Marvin he's the guy that's stuck in the middle. He just stuck in the middle. Like he tries to be there and listen to his sister. He tries to listen for his brother, and he's just stuck in the middle. Bless his heart, poor Marvin. And then lastly, Marvin invited her to the open mic to come for the family. She acted like she wasn't gonna come. So we'll see. And while he's there, he also goes ahead and let her know, which is probably was the reason for his initial visit. But when he got there, he saw the window busted. He let her know about Dean. Dean's been murdered. She asked him, did they have any leads? He's like, no, the streets aren't talking yet. Have no clue. Don't know what happened. But someone has murdered Dean. We see the feds questioning. So they doing their thing. They going around pulling, key witnesses who they feel like may have some information. And now they're questioning Demo. Demo is the dude in the wheelchair that's been helping Marvin out over the last few episodes. That's Demo. They're questioning him. He's sticking to his guns. Don't know nothing. Ain't see nothing. Don't know nothing. Ain't gonna say nothing. They little motto thing. And he's sticking to it, but he slips up. And when the Fed questioned him about Raquel Thomas, he made a comment like, what does Rock have to do with them, right? Not thinking, bro, you just fed them an alias. So that sparked the Fed's attention, the guy, and he got up and ran and told the guy, hey, pull everything back out on her. And his partner was like, I thought we'd closed, had ruled her out. She was good. He's like, no, pull everything out. So I think he's going to start looking up that alias and see if he can find anything. Because when he said Rock, that got his attention. But more to come, we'll see what happens with that. So we see Lou, he's come to the club and he's talking to Shirley. And as soon as he walks in, Shirley pours him a drink. Lou looks over at the drink and he don't want no part of it. He asks her for some seltzer water, I think it was. And she also, as they're talking, she catches him staring at the drink. And she's like, you okay? He said, no, I'll be all right. Yeah, I'll be okay. And so then he questions her about continuing to play that record with his dad on it. And she said, that's the only good music I have. I love that music. And so he tells her that he's going to stop by his mom's house and get some more albums. So then fast forward, we see him in the garage, digging through the garage to get the albums. The mom walks up and was, just start being negative. Kind of reminded me of the movie This Christmas, where the mom don't want them messing with music and she think the music is the devil, blah, blah, blah. And she's got all the musical stuff stashed away in the garage. It kind of reminded me of that scene. But she told him, she pretty much said that the music killed their dad. And he stood up and got really serious and looked at her and said, music didn't kill my dad. So I'm wondering what happened. I don't know if we're going to find anything else out more about that. But he did make that comment that music is not what killed my dad. She had made a comment about Rock hadn't been sending her any money. I'm guessing that Marvin is hit or miss. She's like, Marvin do what he do. So I'm thinking he hits or miss in terms of giving her money. And, pretty much she needs some help. So on his way out, he drops a bankroll for her, and then he goes about his merry way with the albums. He gets the albums that he came there for. Lil then pulls up at the radio station because he had told Shirley earlier that he was going to go to the radio station. He had to connect there to get them to promote the upcoming open mic that they were going to be having. And she thought it was a good idea, so he stopped by. But I don't know, the guy did it right there while Lou was there. But I feel like it might be a little something there between Lou and Mo Craze. I don't know. Did it happen in some previous seasons and I'm just not remembering? But it just seemed like it was a little something, a little fishy with that, like a little uncomfortable with that meeting. I don't know. Probably more to come. So Butter's having their practice. And Aisha can't keep up. She's struggling. She said something about she was dizzy. Don't know what's going on with that. But she just couldn't keep up. And Miss Crystal just being so ugly. Little Miss Crystal just being so ugly, just calling the girl out, all the way out of pocket with her. But now, in Crystal's defense, so is the manager, so is the choreographer. Everybody's giving her a hard time about her dance moves, except for Juke. Juke is the only one that's, being supportive of her, even offered to help her. We can work together. I can work with you. I can help you with your dance moves, blah, blah, you know. So she offers her help. So you later see Juke and Isha at a practice together. They're sitting down, they're resting, look like they're probably done, about to wrap up. And they get to talking, and Juke opens up to her about Nicole. Now, she didn't tell her everything. She just pretty much said, she's my ex, we're not together anymore. And, they just had like a lot of little flirtatious moments and eye looks and gazes towards one another that let me know that there's some type of chemistry there. So we'll see. And then when they come out, they were standing out there, and Marvin noticed the same thing. Oh, and he's just blushing. Like, he's totally accepting who his daughter is now. And I'm here for it. I love that. He's accepting her for her. And she, when she gets in the car, he's messing with her about it. She's, again, blushing. You could tell she likes this girl. She's blushing. She's trying to play it off. And she says, oh, we're just friends. And her dad was like, yeah, friends, how many of us have them? And they proceed to roll off playing the music, Friends, how many of us have them? And I like that too, because that's exactly the type of parent I am. I would have most definitely played that song after that. I thought that was cute. So Rock gets a knock at the door. The doorbell rings. She goes to the door, and it's the social worker. She's there for a home visit, their very first home unannounced visit. Well, Kane's not there. He's over at the bando running his business. And since Rock has no control over Kane, she can't tell this lady what time he'll be there, because we all know if he called or paged her, he probably ain't even going to pick up, right? So the lady decides she's going to come in and wait for Kane. She waited a long ass time because Kane never showed up. So she tells Rock, listen, this is your warning. I'm going to give you this one. This is your freebie. I'm going to give you this one. But if I come back again and he's not here, then I will put him in protective custody. So Rock had the nerve to ask the lady when she's leaving, well, when you coming back? She's like, when my schedule permit. Like, come on, Rock. Really? Do you really think this lady gonna let you know that? You better get that boy under control. So Rock goes to Dean's funeral, and she pays her respect to his grandmother and everything. And then you see Neek walk in, and boy, did they eyes lock. They really love each other. I think they do, but they just know they can't be together. And after the funeral, they're standing in the parking lot. And of course, he's shooting his shots, and he's talking all kind of how good she look and everything. She tells him to, hey, pop that down. His ears out here, cut that out. But he couldn't help himself. Trust me, man. I feel you when you're like that. You just want to show your admiration. So then they get to talking about Dean's death because, they're just baffled by it. Well, at least Rock is. And Rock's like, well, I don't know nobody that would be bold enough to take out Dean. And he tells her, I do. And he said, Ronnie been wilding. And then he says, he's been like a bull in a china shop. And Rock says, well, somebody got to pay for what he broke. So, I don't know what's going to happen with Ronnie. I don't know. It's getting interesting, though. It's really getting interesting. So now we're back at Rock's house. And she walks into the kitchen, and who's sitting at her table eating cereal? Kanan. And she proceeds to let him know about the social worker coming over, him not being there, and what she said was going to happen to him if she comes back and he's not there. And she's letting him know how out of pocket he is. And she's asking him questions, and he's not saying nothing. He just eating them cereal like, be please, right? And just being just out of pocket, disrespectful to her. and she has lost control. She's lost control totally, and he could care less about what she's saying to him. Now, when she walked off, he kind of looked like, wow, like, I better get my stuff together. He slightly looked that way. I'm not sure. Never can tell with Kanan though. So later on, because of what Demo has revealed about the Rock nickname or whatever, the feds show up at Rock's house, and she was actually getting ready and about to go to the open mic, but they told her to come with them, that they needed to talk to her. So Rock and her attorney, they go and they meet with the feds at the precinct. And, they're asking her about the recording studio and her attachment with Crown Camacho. They're just trying to figure out this whole dynamic because for them, everything's not adding up. And she sticks to her story. I'm a businesswoman. I invested in a business. He and my brother, mainly my brother, needed the backing, and just to be supportive of my brother, I made that investment. She answered everything with flying colors. Her and her attorney handled it very, very well, and it wasn't much else the feds could do, so they ended up releasing her. But I believe that they're going to continue to look into this whole Raquel Rock alias thing. So it should be more to come with that. So now we're at the club. It's open mic. Everything look good. Things seem to be vibing. Artists on the stage doing their thing. You see Juke and Aisha and Fame. They're sitting at a table together, and so they're watching and they're vibing. I still feel like there's something between Aisha and Juke. Not sure where they're going with that because Kanan walks in. And Juke sees Kanan from across the room, and she beckons him to come to sit with them. Well, when Famous looks up and sees this, he excuses himself, tells her he'll check her later, and he and Kanan pretty much passed each other, dang near shoulder, brush shoulders against each other. So when Kanan sits down, Juke asks him, "What's up with you and your boy?" Of course, Kanan, he's not very informative with anybody, nothing. He kind of brushed it off, but mainly because his eyes was on Aisha. He wanted to know who this is. He said, "Let me holler at you for a minute." And he pulls Juke away from the table so that they could discuss Aisha. He wanted to know if that's her. Juke told him, "No, man, she's a good girl." He's like, pretty much asking for her permission to slide in. And she was like, "Yeah, but just make sure you treat her right. She's a good girl, Kanan." So he goes back to the table. Juke hangs back, to give them, a little time so that he can shoot his shot. She hangs back, leaning up against the wall, a wallflower over there pouting. She had a look of pout, like she was disappointed. So I don't know. I think she still sort of struggles with her sexuality, with her family and stuff, or maybe she just feels like she should step back and I don't know what's going on with this, but I can tell she had feelings for this girl, just not sure why she didn't tell Kanan. So now we see Marvin and Lou. They're, looking over everything at the club, the success. You could tell that they're pretty happy, especially Lou. And Marvin, he's looking, he's like, "Have you seen Rock? Where's Rock?" And he's, of course, Lou's like, "Fuck Rock." He don't fuck with Rock. Fuck Rock. He could care less. And he's like, "Well, she told me she was going to come." And he was like, "Don't need her." He don't want nothing to do with her, nothing to do. So he's like, he don't need her. But they don't know she's gotten hemmed up with the feds, and that's why she's not there. She really planned on coming. The last artist to go, I guess they decided to save the best for last because he rocked. Famous gets on the mic, and he does a good job. You can even see Kanan sort of bobbing his head a little bit, but you can sort of tell he's still a little feeling some type of way about him. But they just got so much going on, and I understand both sides. The way Kanan did Famous and didn't come get him out of jail, but he helped the other dude. I kind of get all that stuff, but hopefully they'll work it out. They're brothers. But he rocked the mic, and I'm pretty sure that means that Lou is gonna start working with him, because you can see Lou, doing the little finger popping. He's gonna start back working with Famous. So He sees that Famous been putting in that work because he's always writing. If he's not sleeping and smoking, he's usually pretty much writing. So it definitely paid off. Neek is riding around town looking for Ronnie. He's pissed. You done went behind my back to all the connects. You done killed Dean. Now you done told my wife about my side piece. Names and all. You done broke all kind of broke hoes with that. So he's looking for him. He's mad. Now this is his brother. He's mad at him. He's angry. He's looking for him. He's expecting to just go find him, have a nice little argument, maybe throw hands a little bit, and that's it. Well, he runs up on him. And when he gets there, he approaches him about it. And he asks him, about all the stuff that he's done. He ran it all down to him, everything that he's done. And of course, Ronnie's not built like that. He goes from 0 to 100 real quick. So he just started lightening in on Neek, calling him soft, you whipped, pretty boy, clown. And he told him he's the big dog. All he cares about, he's got that prison mentality, being on top, the big dog, the one with the motion. He told him he's the big dog. And I think it really hurt him when he told him, called him the pretty boy in the clap. Because right when he was doing all that name calling, that's when Neek just hauled off and hit him. And they had a really, really good tussle and squabble around the room. And in the end, Neek won the squabble, but he lost the fight. Because he got him down, beat him down, had him down and beat him a couple of times, and just turned to walk off because he had him down. He had him slightly dazed. Well, this man been in prison. And in prison, the fight ends one way if there's no guards around. So he gets up as Neek is walking back out of the building. Ronnie gets up, put his glasses on, and follows behind him. He comes by this big container bucket, look like a trash can that they keep tools in or whatever. And he grabs this iron pipe. And I'm like, Neek, you don't hear this man coming? You don't hear that ruffling behind you? Neek just walking up out of there. Again, this is my brother. He doesn't think anything like this. Ronnie proceeded to beat the crap out of Neek's skull. One good time from behind, Neek instantly dropped. And Ronnie just beat the crap out of him. Killed him. Then the end of the scene, you see him. He's rolled him. I guess put him in his trunk. He's rolled him down this hill, muddy water, woody type hill area. And he's holding his chain. And I'm like, dang, you done snatched his chain too? It's hard out here. But that's the end of the episode. A really, really good episode. Am I my brother's keeper? Hey. But that was a good one. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new. And as always, stay safe and on to the next one. Peace.